Welcome back to Brain Space. Have you ever felt stuck in a conversation trying to figure out how to steer it or make a real connection? What if I tell you that there are secret psychological tricks that can turn any conversation in your favor? Whether you want to captivate, influence, or make a lasting impression, today's video is your golden ticket. We're about to dive into 15 powerful conversation techniques with practical scenarios that can make you the most magnetic person in the room. Ready to unlock your conversational superpowers? Let's jump in. Trick 1, the spotlight effect. Have you ever felt self-conscious in a conversation, worrying about every little thing you say or do? The spotlight effect is the tendency to overestimate how much others notice our actions and appearance. The reality? Most people are too focused on themselves to notice every detail about you. So take the pressure off. Realize that you're not under a microscope. By shifting your focus from self-consciousness to genuine engagement with the other person, you'll naturally become more confident and present in the conversation. Think about the last time you worried about what you were wearing or saying. Did anyone notice? Probably not. Next time you're in a conversation, remind yourself of this and let go of the unnecessary stress. Trick 2, the Pygmalion Effect. This psychological phenomenon suggests that people tend to live up to the expectations set for them. It's a powerful tool in conversations because when you treat someone as if they're intelligent, capable, or insightful, they're more likely to behave in that way. This doesn't mean you should be disingenuous, but rather recognize and verbalize the potential in others. Positive expectations can subtly influence behavior and bring out the best in the people you're talking to. Imagine you're working on a project with someone. By saying, "I know you're great at problem solving, so I'm excited to see your ideas on this," you're setting a positive expectation that can boost their confidence and performance. This not only helps them shine, but also strengthens your rapport. Trick 3, the power of priming. Priming is all about subtly introducing certain concepts or ideas into a conversation to influence how someone thinks or reacts later on. It's like planting a seed that grows throughout your interaction. For example, if you're preparing to propose a new idea at work, you might start by discussing successful changes that have been implemented in the past. This primes the person to be more receptive to new ideas because they're already thinking about positive change. Let's say you're on a date and want to suggest trying something adventurous together in the future. Start by casually mentioning how much you enjoy exploring new things, like that time you tried skydiving or took a spontaneous road trip. Later, when you suggest a new adventure, they're more likely to be on board because you've already primed them with the idea of being adventurous. Trick 4, the conversational callback. This technique is all about creating a sense of connection and continuity by referring back to something mentioned earlier in the conversation. It shows you're attentive and invested in the dialogue, which naturally draws people in. A callback can be a simple reference to a shared interest or a previous topic, subtly reminding the other person that you're genuinely engaged. Imagine you're talking to someone about their favorite hobbies and they mention they love painting. Later in the conversation, you could say, "Speaking of creativity, I think you'd appreciate this art exhibit I recently visited." This not only keeps the conversation flowing, but also reinforces that you're paying attention to what matters to them. Trick 5, the door-in-the-face technique. This classic persuasion tactic involves making a large request that's likely to be rejected, followed by a smaller, more reasonable request. The smaller request feels more manageable by comparison, making the person more likely to agree. It's a brilliant way to get what you really want without seeming pushy. Imagine you're fundraising for a charity and you ask someone to donate $500 knowing they'll likely say no. Then you follow up with a request for a $50 donation. Because the $50 seems much smaller in comparison, they're more likely to agree to it. It's all about creating a contrast that makes the actual request seem more reasonable. Trick 6, the illusion of choice. People love feeling in control of their decisions, so offering them choices, even if they all lead to the same outcome, can be a powerful way to guide a conversation. The key is to structure the options in such a way that no matter what they choose, it aligns with your desired outcome. Let's say you want to set up a meeting with a colleague. Instead of asking, "Are you free to meet?" you could say, "Would you prefer to meet on Tuesday or Thursday?" This way, the decision isn't whether to meet, but when to meet. They feel like they're making the choice, but either option works for you. Trick 7. The social proof technique. We're all influenced by the behavior of others, especially in situations where we're uncertain. By highlighting how others have reacted to or agreed with a particular idea, you can subtly guide someone's opinion or decision. This works particularly well in group settings or when you're trying to persuade someone to try something new. If you're trying to convince a friend to join you in a new activity, you might say, "A lot of our friends have tried this and loved it." This taps into their desire to follow the crowd, making them more likely to agree. Social proof is all about showing that others have already given their stamp of approval. Trick 8. The Reciprocity Principle. This is the idea that when someone does something for you, you feel compelled to return the favor. In conversations, you can use this by offering something small, like a compliment, helpful advice, or even just active listening. The other person is then more likely to reciprocate, creating a positive cycle of give and take. Let's say you're networking at an event. You start by complimenting someone on their recent work or offering a helpful tip. Later, when you ask for their advice or help, they're more inclined to assist because they feel a subconscious need to reciprocate the positive gesture. It's a subtle way to build goodwill and foster stronger connections. Trick 9. The foot in the door technique. This technique is all about starting small. You begin with a small request that's easy for the other person to agree to, and once they've agreed, you follow up with a larger request. The initial agreement creates a sense of commitment, making it harder for the person to say no to the next, bigger request. For instance, if you're trying to get someone to volunteer for an event, you might first ask them to help out for just an hour. Once they've agreed and gotten involved, they're more likely to say yes to staying longer or taking on more responsibility. It's about gradually increasing the stakes while building on their initial commitment. Trick 10. The halo effect. This is when our overall impression of someone influences how we perceive their other traits. For example, if someone is attractive or charismatic, we might also assume they're more intelligent, kind, or capable. In conversations, you can use the halo effect by leading with your strengths, whether it's your confidence, your knowledge, or your positive attitude. If you're introducing yourself in a professional setting, start by sharing a recent accomplishment or expressing enthusiasm for the topic at hand. This positive introduction can create a halo that makes others more likely to view everything you say in a favorable light. It's a powerful way to set the tone for the entire conversation. Trick 11. The framing effect. This is the idea that the way information is presented can significantly affect our decisions and judgments. By framing your ideas in a positive or advantageous light, you can influence how others perceive them. It's not about being manipulative, but about understanding that context and presentation matter. Imagine you're pitching a new idea to your team. Instead of saying, "This project will be challenging," you could frame it as, "This project will be a great opportunity for us to learn and grow." The positive framing makes the idea more appealing and increases the likelihood of getting others on board. Trick 12. The Zegarnik Effect. This psychological phenomenon suggests that people remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. In conversations, you can use this to your advantage by leaving certain topics open-ended or hinting at something intriguing that you'll discuss later. This keeps the other person engaged and curious, making them more invested in the conversation. During a conversation, you might say, "I've got a really interesting story to tell you about that, but I'll save it for later." This creates anticipation and keeps the other person eager to continue the conversation. It's a great way to maintain interest and engagement over a longer period. Trick 13, the Ben Franklin Effect. This is the idea that when someone does you a favor, they're more likely to do another favor for you in the future. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's rooted in the concept of cognitive dissonance. When people invest effort in helping you, they subconsciously rationalize that they like you and want to continue the relationship. If you're looking to build rapport with someone, start by asking them for a small favor, like borrowing a book or getting their opinion on something. Once they've done you that favor, they're more likely to view you positively and be open to further interactions. It's a subtle way to strengthen bonds and build mutual trust. Trick 14, the false consensus effect. This is the tendency to overestimate how much others agree with our opinions or behaviors. By subtly suggesting that your views or preferences are shared by others, you can create a sense of common ground that makes people more likely to agree with you. Let's say you're discussing a new idea at work. You might say, "I think most people here would agree that this is a step in the right direction." Even if you're not entirely sure how everyone feels, framing your statement this way can influence others to align with what seems to be the consensus. It's a powerful way to sway opinions without direct persuasion. Trick 15. The placebo effect in communication. Just like in medicine, where a placebo can create real effects based on belief, the words you use can have a similar impact in conversations. By using positive, reassuring language, you can influence how others feel and react, even if the actual situation hasn't changed. If someone is nervous about a presentation, telling them, "You've got this, and I know you'll do great," can boost their confidence and performance. The key is to be sincere. Your belief in them can help create a self-fulfilling prophecy, where they perform better simply because they believe they can. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more insights into the fascinating world of psychology, and share your favorite trick in the comments below. Watch other interesting videos on our channel to improve and learn more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.